The former governor of Kaduna State, Rufai, has stated that the federal government is currently spending more in trillions on fuel subsidy than it did in the past. Rufai applauded the government and took a swipe at the critics of President Tinubu's administration, accusing them of hasty judgment. This statement comes amid a report by the National Bureau of Statistics that Nigeria's inflation rate surged to 3.20% in March 2024. Representing a 1.5% point year-on-year increase from the 31.7% recorded in February 2024, making it the 8th time that the inflation rate has risen since the commencement of President Bola Tinubu's administration on May 29, 2023. Also, the Naira appreciated to 1,000 per US dollars on Monday and is expected to appreciate further below the 1,000 per dollar mark during the week. However, despite the positive shift, many Nigerians question if the appreciation of the Naira is because the federal government may be supporting the Naira. They also express concern that the Naira's appreciation has not significantly impacted the price of goods and services in the country. All right, we still have Mr. Lawal Ekundayo, who is an educationist and a farmer in the studio with us. And we also have Mr. Chris Paul Otaigbe, who is an international chief correspondent and project director at Frinta TV based in UK. Good morning, Mr. Chris.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Great. Good morning, everybody.
Okay. I believe you've actually joined us or you've been part of the program to this point. But exactly, what do you make of this word by the former governor of Kaduna State that the president, or rather that the Nigerian government is still subsidizing fuel? The money, according to him, actually is amounting to trillions, even after the government have said we are no longer doing fuel subsidy.
Look, this is an area that I've followed for a long time, and I have the pride, by God's grace, to say that at some point I pushed an advocacy when they were still playing ping pong with Dangote's refinery, that NNPC should, through the federal government, through the NNPC, should support the Dangote if they really wanted a fix to fuel subsidy, fuel scarcity, and everything, because Dangote obviously, largely, along with the other smaller ones, but at least he's the one we're seeing. He is the solution right now. He's the pragmatic, they were using pragmatism. He is the pragmatic solution to our fuel issues, even our foreign exchange stress. Dangote is, because I followed it. That guy is producing 750,000 barrels per day, man. NNPC has invested 20% into that concern. What's the 20% for? Is it on behalf of some corrupt individual or on behalf of the country? Because the money belongs to the country. So if you put 20% there, it meant that it's supposed to serve Nigerians. So all this one that I recall that Rufai, when he was governor of Kaduna State, he headed a committee of some of his governor colleagues under Buhari to look at fuel subsidy and all of that. And his committee came up with a recommendation at the time that only 300 naira per liter will solve the problem. Today we are saying something.
Well, we do know that the times of the indices at that time is quite different from indices at this time. Now,
listen, my brother. All that's a lie. It's all a bloody lie. At that time, yes, people could still, I will explain to you, people could still argue because Dangote was not on stream. Dangote is on stream. Nobody else has any excuse. Nobody, no government has any excuse to suffer Nigeria any day more.
But you also do realize that Dangote is a private individual who's doing business.
That's another lie they tell you. That's another lie they tell you.
Why do you consider that a lie? You think
let me tell you
government
now,
investment is a lot more than we understand it is?
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Please open your mind and let us open our senses, okay? These people are always trying to relocate our senses, our sense of logic and rationality from our brains. It shouldn't work. Well, it doesn't work with me, Chris. Let me tell you, I just started by saying NNPC pumped 20%, invested 20% of its shares or money into Dangote refinery. Is that not the private concern? Why would government do that? Okay, they've done that. You ask them, why are they doing that? Is it not on behalf of Nigeria? What is the objective? Is it not to use leverage on this refinery as a gap to feed Nigerians with fuel at cheaper price? All these things they are telling you, he's selling at international price. Don't forget, early this year or thereabout, they were telling you that, oh, NNPC is giving, or federal government has approved 1 million barrels of crude to Dangote. They didn't tell you that time that they were selling to Dangote. And indeed, I can tell you for free, perhaps they did it. They can tell us a lie. They can say they may not admit it. But the truth of the matter is that Dangote was supposed to save us over $17 billion per year in foreign exchange. Over $17 billion per year. Now, secondly, like my friend just said there, Dangote is at Badagry. He's in Lekki there. The oil is exploring, is in Nigeria here. So a normal government, if I not a normal, any normal human being.
But you also do realize that at some point, NNPC had to import crude for Dangote refinery to refine.
My brother, we all agree that operations in the oil industry is opaque. If it's opaque, it will be subject to every interpretation. It can only be opaque because there's corruption behind, because they don't want to hear you to know something. If I can tell you so much about NNPC and the corruption going on, both the ones who know
go ahead.
and the
We'd like to hear. We'd like you to educate us. Go ahead.
Okay, let me educate you, if you hear me out. Before Dangote refinery came, now here is one lie they have been telling you for decades. They tell you, oh, we are paying fuel subsidy. Fuel subsidy is landing cost. The difference between the cost of bringing the fuel from where they went to refine it and the cost of selling it to the Nigeria, and so the federal government bridges the cost. That's a lie. Let me tell you why. Number one, even let's look at it before Dangote. Federal government, NNPC does not pay one dime. One dime. On NNPC, in fact, NNPC even gained at the time when it was importing the fuel from abroad. Why? Because NNPC will give crude from Escravos or wherever it is. All right? The only cost to NNPC is the crude cost. From there, they take it into the ship of the man refining it. They don't pay the guy a dime. The guy, in fact, does not want money from NNPC. He just needs the crude. So when he takes the crude to his refinery, listen to me very well, he will refine, he gets paid with your crude. Why? Because he knows that out of over 20 derivatives you can get from crude oil, your NNPC officially, of course we know it's a lie, is asking for him to give them petrol, diesel, or maybe kerosene. 3 out of over 20. So the 17 is up from the other 3 are the refiners to sell. That's how he makes his money. So because of that, NNPC tells him, from your refinery to Apapa port, you bear the cost. And indeed, the guy will bear the cost with pride. So NNPC does not pay any dime till that thing lands in Apapa. What is the landing cost there? That was a lie. That was a blatant lie. So a subsidy never existed. So if you juxtapose that with Dangote, you just know that, in fact, they've told the lie
of the century.
Okay. Oh my God! Oh my God!
I feel your passion. A lot of Nigerians are passionate about this as well, because I mean, it's our natural resource.
You can see now. But you can see Kama. You can see Kama catching up with federal government.
But
they can't track their inflation.
I appreciate this education that you've given, but unfortunately, you're not presenting or citing evidence to back it up. So it's your word against that of NNPCL. You do realize that?
No, my brother, it's in public space. It's
All
in
right, great.
public space.
Great. Great. Well,
Let me tell you. Sorry. Let me tell you.
ahead.
It doesn't. It looks like I'm talking about, but I have to educate you here. I'm not just citing. How do I know that they take their crude from West Africa, give it to ship? In fact, they even force the refiner to patronize NNPC ship. Half of that consignment will go to NNPC ship so that they pay NNPC. NNPC even make money in the process of sending the crude to the guy's refinery.
All right. So
NNPC
how then, Chris, please, how then do you react to the fact that at some point this government have said, look, since the removal of subsidy that you said did not even exist, they have saved a certain amount of money, which they have now, given to governors due the federal allocation, from the federal allocation, so governors can better administer their states and cushion whatever effect the removal of subsidy may have on the people. And now we are hearing that government is paying a whole lot more than they were initially paying. Yes, you may. Go ahead.
My brother, it's all a lie. Thank God for Abacha. I thank God for this point you brought about, taking the different, what they made from subsidy and giving it to people. During Abacha, of blessed memory, Abacha is now a saint to all these demons, even right from Obasanjo. Listen, Abacha, when he increased fuel twice in his administration, 5 years, okay? The second time, he took the differential, I think about 4 naira, to establish PTF, if you remember, Petroleum Trust Fund. PTF virtually was running Nigeria. How? Why? Because it was in health, it was in education, it was on roads, he was building roads, he was building hospitals, he was building schools, it was affecting people's lives. So all over Nigeria, that was 4 naira. So now, if you say you want to judge and you want to look at that matrix, 4 naira per liter forming a PTF. So if you bring that down, are you with me?
Yeah.
How much is it now? Is it about 500 or thereabout? The price by fuel in Nigeria. Can somebody correct me?
Well, it's 600 and
666.
Oh, it's even worse.
599 and 640.
Let's even say 600 naira. That is 120 PTF. 120 PTF, meaning that every state in Nigeria can have as many as 3 PTF. Nigeria will become more than Dubai today. Even as it is, if they were using that fuel subsidy money that they say they are giving to themselves to share, we will have, each state in Nigeria will have become a Dubai. Because 1 PTF alone for one state can clean up that state. I'm not even talking about any other money. So look, all of these things that, let me tell you again. There's an international connection to this. Some of the conditions IMF and World Bank give to these people, I don't want to call them bad names on air, is that they must remove fuel subsidy, which doesn't exist.
Now, that's another thing. The conversation as to the government listening to IMF, taking advice from IMF. A lot of people have said this is going to run the country aground.
Yes.
You seem
in fact,
to agree
what
to
you
that.
will know, how you will know the IMF is evil and what bank is evil to us is that, okay, they are saying remove fuel subsidy. If they really meant it, why wouldn't they address the corruption on behalf of federal government? Why would they? Have you ever asked them? Have you ever told government, okay, when you remove fuel subsidy, Dangote is there now. Please patronize Dangote and use it for your country. They won't do that because they don't mean well for you. Number two, okay, because they say fuel money is being funneled into private pockets. Are the private pockets in hell or in heaven that we can't track them? Federal government cannot track them. If federal government can track and now they cannot track a Sunday go, can they don't track people in Nigeria who are stealing the money?
Okay, now before we have a studio guest, we'll come back to the studio guest, but let me ask you your thoughts on the modular refineries. The government seems to have been clamping down on modular refineries in the past few months. Some have said it's the people taking advantage of the resources within their domain to better their own lives. What are your thoughts, really? Should government invest?
Let me tell you, my thought is this. You don't go far. This is an area I love. I can die here.
I can feel your
because
passion.
these people are criminals. Let me tell you. Maybe you are talking about the militants in the Niger Delta refining the fuel, correct?
That's inclusive.
No, modular refinery is more legit. So if they are clamping down on modular refinery, that's new to me. Because that is what Buhari and the rest were using. Oh, when there is a fuel crisis, we will build modular refinery, modular. And then when things calm down, modular disappears. Listen, let me start with the militants. I know, as a journalist then in Nigeria, that I advocated that these militants, they are even doing a service that Nigeria is failing to do. Okay? What are they stealing? They are stealing small now compared to the ones those criminals in NNPC towers are stealing. So they are only stealing to survive and survive make their community survive. If you go to Niger Delta, you could buy fuel at 50 naira per liter, and that fuel will not knock your engine. Let me shock you. During Jonathan's era, when they were doing round tripping with fuel, whatever, they will collect money, allocation, they won't import the fuel. Some people even imported the fuel, were carrying their tankers to Niger Delta for those boys to fill and bring it and lie that they brought it from abroad. So those boys in Niger Delta were really working. Maybe they were using the wrong whatever. But even I thank God that Osinbajo, former vice president, Professor Osinbajo, when he was a star, then when he was acting president, he went to Niger Delta. He said this thing. He validated my advocacy. Those are the right things to do. But they won't do it. You know why? So that people, all these thieves, big thieves in the downstream sector, in the downstream sector, so that these people in the downstream sector can be profiting. They are the ones sending them after these boys in the Niger Delta, not the federal government. They will pay the army and whatever, and then they will come and tell you, oh, we destroyed 10 refineries, 100 refineries of militants.
Okay, then let's come to the studio guest. Meanwhile, we'd like for you to steady your camera because it's been shaky. So let's give you time to do that. Let's give you time to do that, and then we'll come back to you and get some more. All right.
Yes, I love what he's been saying so far, but there's no bottle. I just want to look at it from two angles.
Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
The modular refinery, the one they call the illegal refinery, and they're destroying. And the World Bank have been saying this over and over again that Nigeria is the one, making decision in World Bank. That's the Okonjo-Iweala, am I right?
Okonjo-Iweala is with the WTO, World Trade Organization.
World Bank is different from
World Bank is different. World Trade is different.
Okay. Now, what I'm saying is that these decisions, you get it. Yeah. You see, some Nigerians are in this World Banks and all this IMF and all this this and that, and then when they get to those areas, I don't know, maybe they forget that love for the country and begin to go along with whatever the other foreigners want. And you get what I'm saying? That's one aspect that worries me a lot, because each time you put somebody else there from outside that is not Nigerian, that are part of the decision maker, you see the way they favor their countries.
Now let's look at.
Then, sorry, sir, I'm coming to that refinery.
Okay.
All right.
When they were destroying those refineries, and even up to now they are still doing it, I begin to wonder that I myself, I may not refine as perfect as this, but I can do refining, because we were taught this thing at schools, in our school, in chemistry and physics. We did this refinery. So why do we have to take it abroad? If you see a Nigerian already doing this refinery and it's okay, why not give it the license? Government is like, now you are selling crude oil to Dangote. If you are selling 500,000 barrels of oil to Dangote to refine and sell, why can't I, you get it, go and buy like 5 barrels Look at 5 barrels to 500. I can buy 5 barrels now and refine. You get what is wrong? Why are you blocking me?
As a modular refinery.
Yes, as a modular. What you are going to tell me? Okay, these are the criteria or rules and regulations you can for minimum requirement we expect from you. Throw it out. And there's glad that some people can build it and then they can refine 5,000 barrels of oil and then service a small area.
So why do you
just
think,
like you refine you do cassava or whatever?
Why do you think the government is not willing to support the modular refinery?
The reason I think is because when you create a bottleneck, you make more money when you create a bottleneck. Because everybody is diverted towards that bottleneck. You get it? And then you have more mouth chasing little food. So you are expected people to pay more. That is what you have. So if you give one person or two the power to do this thing, from them you can easily make more money because you can increase it. They have no choice. For example, when you look at the issue of cement, we have this thing I said, we have limestone. It's Nigerian property. Instead of the government to say, okay, the government will be in charge of, mining this limestone, so anybody can come and buy and, convert it to cement and sell. By then, you can control price. No, the government now, give it to some individual, give it to them, okay, go and be refined, go and be taking it, and go and be doing, I remove my hand, just give me anything. Now, what happened is that the person has absolute control over the whole thing.
Okay. Now, my own question will be back to you, Mr. Chris, and this is as concerns Nigerians. Naira actually appreciates to be 1,000 as of yesterday in the market, or 1,015 naira, but just from February to this month, inflation has actually risen from 31.7% that it was in February to 32.20%. And not just that, cost of food prices in Nigeria are still very high. Please, what do you have to say about this, sir?
I love the way you presented it. Oh, money as a dollar, Naira has appreciated to 1,000. Federal government is saying inflation is this. Oh, and then cost of food or inflation or whatever has continued to rise. I love what my brother said there. He said, for your money, for your currency to appreciate, to have value, you have to be producing. So he asked, what did we produce that now brought the Naira from 1,000 to 1,000, whatever they were putting it, to now 1,000 and coming down? It's all, look, these are all a lie. These are people who just make decisions at the whim, just to favor their own personal agenda. They have seen, or perhaps they are seeing, I hope, that there is a limit to which they can stretch this suffering through their unfounded policies, through their cruel policies. It is evident to them that there is no way to run, there is nowhere to hide. Okay? Because if you are going at the trajectory of their own, the spirit behind their policies, Naira should actually be 2,000 now. But they say that if they put it more than where it is now, today Nigeria, something may give. So they are being cautious. Now they are returning to fuel subsidy, which the president came out the first day of his inauguration. Oh, fuel subsidy is gone. It's now gone, it's now back. What happened to it's gone? Who gave that fuel subsidy visa to come back to Nigeria? Because they've seen that it's unsustainable. They are not making sense. They have never made sense. In fact, this particular government have thrown sense into the dust, into the lagoon. So sense may never return until perhaps they are gone. Because look, I'm telling you, when Nigerians I've always told you, when they give you this open release or policy or whatever, look behind. What is behind? What's the drama? What's the back end drama? These people with their white allies are evaluating the situations. They are assessing the policies. So when they say that the thing is getting too much, oh yeah, reduce the tension, reduce. That's what you are seeing. Nothing is making sense. You can see now, I heard in your headline that inflation is defying a solution. Why won't it defy solution? Because even the solution, you have denied, you yourself, you are standing against the solution, thinking that your own warped demonic option of fakes is what will work for you. Of course, it won't work for you. Everything would have arrived before your eyes now.
Now, Mr.
That's
Paul,
what is happening to this government.
Mr. Paul, I'd like to stay with you on this. Now,
yeah, I'm listening.
The president, the very first day of his inauguration, declared the subsidies gone. From several quarters, this subsidy situation have been raised again and again. Till this point, not one of the presidency or anybody in the presidency has come out to say this is a lie. What do you think would be attributed to all of this, and why are Nigerians not even talking to this situation?
Nigerians, my brother, Nigerians cannot talk for now. In fact, this election just shut everybody up and killed everybody's spirits. Okay, so if we couldn't talk, you know, we couldn't resist the brazen robbery, the unprecedented, uncommon brazen robbery that happened in the election.
Should we now continue with this kind of situation?
We will continue until God himself intervenes in Nigeria. I'm sure they are waiting. That one, it will happen. But the truth of the matter is that just know this and know peace. There is no fuel subsidy. It's all phantom. It's all fake. No matter in whatever grammar they bring it, in whatever they bring it, and thank God, this government is unfortunate. Dangote is alive in his own administration. So, in fact, they are now saying he's paying trillions of naira per month on subsidy. Where? Are they paying Dangote? Even if they are buying from Dangote, are they paying Dangote landing cost? Or have they left the Dangote refinery and they continue their, what do you call it, their importation? Of course, no, Dangote is there. I know what they did to ensure that Dangote didn't start that refinery until now. Oh, Dangote should have started refining that place, activated that refinery 2-3 years back.
Okay. Yeah? Are you saying it was a government's intention to ensure that the refinery did not come upstream?
Of course. Why would they allow it to come upstream? Because some people in NNPC and their friends outside were benefiting from imports. So I'm sure before they allowed Dangote to activate, they will have come sat him down in the round table, boy. You two are part of us. We have been allowing you. Now allow us. So don't start this your machine until we are okay.
Okay, now
that's the back end drama.
Okay, let me get your thoughts on this as well. Just yesterday, we saw a video of trucks leaving Dangote refinery loaded with diesel for different parts, heading to different parts of the country, and but the diesel are being sold for about 1,200,
225.
Okay. 1,200 to 1,300. That's the range, depending on the quantity that you're buying.
That's about $1.1 plus, right?
About that.
Yes, about that.
So, about that. But Ipman is saying, since the issue of landing cost is being taken away, he should sell to us cheaper, as against selling to us for about 1,000, 1,200, 1,250, and 1,300. What are your thoughts on this?
Let me give you this scenario. And that's the scenario that will work anywhere in the world. All right? That's why Russia is not importing fuel. That's why Venezuela, until America invaded that place economically, was never importing fuel, was even exporting fuel, was even giving French fuel. Those are OPEC members, right? Gaddafi, Libya, used crude oil to ensure that every Libyan had a house, had a job. Every Libyan was even entitled to proceeds from the oil sales in Libya. He didn't borrow a dime till America invaded that guy illegally. He used crude oil. We are the only crude OPEC nation that is importing fuel. Now, God has given us Dangote. We are still talking grammar. Ipman is very correct. You see now, I'm not Ipman. Ipman is the institution in the industry. He's saying Dangote should be selling cheaper. They know what they're saying. It only makes sense that if Tinubu and his government, they are really correct, they really have Nigerians in mind, and they say, oh, I feel your pain, I feel your pain. Now, show how you feel our pain by prevailing on Dangote. You are the commander-in-chief. Indeed, more than anybody before. He is truly the commander-in-chief because he knows what he's doing. Everybody is beholden to him. From National Assembly to Judiciary to everywhere. So Tinubu owns the government, personally. So as the big don, he can say, okay, NNPC, which he was doing until they killed that media. He was saying, give Dangote 1 million barrels. They were giving Dangote 1 million barrels. When they were doing it, maybe they made a mistake. They could have told them, oh, we are selling to Dangote at the time. But they didn't. It meant that they were giving him free. They would have cited the 20% they gave. Maybe that would be our 20%. So give him 1 million. And they were giving him 1 million. So naturally, a government that is compassionate, that even rational, will have said, now that we have you in Nigeria, we are not paying foreign exchange to go and import anything. No landing cost, no nothing. And we're giving you crude oil at our own share in this thing. Meaning that you must sell at least 30% or 30% or 70% or 50% of your stock to Nigerians at an affordable rate. I tell you, and God would make somebody come validate this for me before in our lifetime. Nigeria, with Dangote now, Nigerians should be able to buy fuel at the worst case scenario, 100 naira per liter. If it's crude, if it's diesel, they should be able to buy at the same rate, no more than 100 naira per liter. That's the worst that we should be able to buy this what do you call it, refined product from Dangote. Right. This is a national emergency now. What are you talking? Okay. So if it's a national emergency, government should thank God that they have a Dangote. Oh well. Let me also tell you. Yeah. Let me also tell you. Even when we were importing during this Professor Sam David West, thank God for that man. He said they had a similar scenario when he was Minister of Fuel of Petroleum, where Nigerians, when they each time Nigeria wanted to turn around the refinery to repair it, and before they go to operation, they will engage Shell, an international oil company. Please take crude from our country, go and refine in your country, bring the proceeds, bring the fuel to us, and sell the excess. That was happening, and then Shell will sell the excess and bring the money from proceeds from that excess to Nigerian Federal Federation account. That's the second model for you on fuel subsidy or importation of fuel. So are you saying that Nigeria has died? That Nigeria never existed? Are we not still in the same Nigeria? Is it not the same crude oil? Is it not the same going to outsourcing refining of the product? Let's face the fact. These guys are crooks. They are criminals. They are just using, and then with their white allies, they are using the fuel situation in Nigeria and foreign exchange to dehumanize the personality of the Nigerian.
All right, and that will be a good place to anchor that conversation. You want to add something to this before we flip to the next topic?
But that's why I said earlier that the ESCC, I mean, you have spent too much time on this Better Edu case. Because this refinery, we have 4 refineries. The government is paying money into voting money into that refineries every year, and nothing is coming out of it. Is it not enough for ESC to have gone after that? What is actually going on there? Because if you are voting money into that refinery, there must be stars there. There must be contractors working. You get it?
And some are even saying, why is Kyari still heading NPCL?
Even not after declaring any profit after tax yet.
Yes, they didn't even remit. There's a time they didn't even remit anything for some time into the coffers of the government. Yeah. And the man is still there. And we are running after Edu as if that is the totality of it. No, what I'm saying that we have spent too much time on it. That place is already soft landing. You get, because we have seen so many anomalies to prosecute whoever you want to prosecute them. But that doesn't stop you from going after that refinery, because that refinery has a far bigger issue.
All right. Okay. Well, we've been speaking with Lawale Kundayo, an educationist, a farmer, and a public affairs commentator, and Chris Paul Otaigwe, an international chief correspondent at and project director, Affinity Television, based in the UK. Now, we'd like you gentlemen to stay with us as we go into another conversation now. The Ali Igbo Development Foundation says Indigbo are ready for the reconstitution and renegotiation of Nigeria's federation. All right, we'll talk about this one when we come back from this break.